Haven't you had something that you've wanted to go a certain specific way? And no matter how hard you try, it just doesn't seem to work out. And then someone else comes along, doesn't seem to put in as much effort and gets all the results instantly without even trying. In self-improvement and in manifesting, there is like a paradox in that if you want something too much, and if you put in too much effort, you actually block it from happening or block it from manifesting. This is why learning what can be called an art of detachment is so important, not just for manifesting, but for in life in general, because attachment is the one thing that keeps us locked in the roots of fear. If you want to know one thing that can stop you from blocking your manifestations or prevent you from self-sabotaging your goals, no matter how motivated you feel, no matter how much you want something and you're putting in that extra effort, sometimes that extra effort is coming from the wrong place. I do get asked this a lot: how do I detach, or what is the purpose of detachment? What does it actually mean? There's quite a lot of confusion about what detachment and what attachment is, because a lot of us are associating the feelings that we have for wanting something or needing something or achieving something as being beneficial, and so we have to have a certain level of attachment to that. But that's actually an incorrect assumption, because whenever we are attached to something, the very nature of attachment means holding on to something, not wanting to let go. And the reason there is that grip, that's the difference. There is a grip in holding on to something, is because it's rooted in the fear of losing it. I need to hold on to something. I really need it because there's a fear of not having it. Whereas if we cannot come from a state of fear, we can be detached and enjoy the process, then we are in flow. We allow things to come to us much easily without being too attached to the outcome. And that doesn't mean we don't care. That doesn't mean we're not driven. It doesn't mean that we don't have the motivation and the willpower and the action to achieve our goals. What it does mean is that where we come from is going to influence the outcome. By this I mean, if I'm coming from a place of fear and lack, then that's what I'm going to be putting out to the universe and bringing back into my life as experience. Whereas if I'm coming from a place of love, contentment, or abundance, and complete ease in how the outcomes will be, then there's options, there's flow, there's no blocks setting up, in stopping the manifestations from coming. When we are attached to someone or something, it's because there is fear involved. Attachment is a route to fear. So if we are fearing of lacking something or needing something, and we either don't have something and we want to get something so much because we think it's going to give us fulfillment and the security that we need, therefore we're attached to the outcome. This will influence our decisions to do certain things. We might be putting so much effort into something and making these decisions that are draining us, and we're working hard, but we're not getting the results because we're coming from a lack mindset. And so any decisions that we are making may not be for our highest and best. We're just going by the limiting thought pattern here, the belief in lack, and that influences the decisions that we do and that we take. And those decisions may not be what is going to create those manifestations for us. But not only that, the energy that you are putting out, because everything is energy and frequency, is going to be rooted in lack. And we are in an abundant universe, and what we put out comes back to us as experience. So if we put out the belief and the feeling that I'm lacking, then no matter what actions we do, if the vibration is of lack, then that is going to be reflected back to us in the form of lack. And then in the same in relationships. If you're overly attached to a relationship, it's because that you will be linked to some sort of fear of lacking. What will happen if you don't have that relationship? Are you not good enough? Is there something that you could never have and you don't feel worthy enough? And so if you have something, you want to keep hold of it and not let it go. Or if you don't have something, you want to make as many strides as you can to get it. So consequently, this means that no matter what you're trying to do, if you keep feeling and focus on the feeling of lacking of what you want to manifest, you're going to keep finding your manifestation is evading you, because your baseline vibration is the lack of having it, coming from that place of fear. So detachment is a wonderful way to let go of all of that. If you're able to detach, then you don't put any blockages up to your manifestation. You acknowledge that the universe is infinitely abundant. And if you start feeling infinitely abundant and detached from the outcomes, you then allow things to flow naturally, because you're not putting your limited perspective the fearful mindset in place and making judgments. If I don't manifest this at a certain time, it means this or it means that. You don't do any of that. Instead, when you're detached, you allow things to flow as it's meant to for your highest and best. Because there's a natural law and a process. This is why we say in manifestation work, think from the end. Assume that your wishes are already fulfilled. Assume the feeling and act like your manifestation has already happened. Because you are then putting that vibration out to the universe. And remember, think of the universe as reflecting back what you put out vibrationally as physical experience. If we are too attached, then we're focusing on the lack of. But if we feel like we've already got what we need, even if it feels like faking it till you make it, at least train your mind to begin to get into that feeling place. Almost a bit like what mental rehearsal is, where you think that you've already done something. Internally, you've already done it, even if your physical circumstances haven't done it yet. You start coming from that place of abundance, from that place that your manifestation is already here, from where you want to be. That's the difference. It's the energy behind it. The energy behind the attachment is going to be based in fear and based in lack. And this might be why you can see somebody else achieving what you want to achieve with half the effort, it seems, because they may not be as attached as you are. So to detach, you need to first of all acknowledge what it is that you are afraid of. If you're feeling overly attached to something, you need to ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Why is this so important to me? A nice trick to find out, if you ever want to find out any information from yourself about why you feel a certain way, keep asking yourself, why is that? These are the things that we need to identify, a bit like working with Dark Night of the Soul kind of thing. We need to acknowledge those parts of us that is rooted in that fear, because those are the belief systems, those are the energy blockages that prevent the new things from entering our life. Remember, this is an energy game. There's no singular cause and effect. It's energy, it's frequency. We need to start thinking in terms of energy and frequency. And the energy and the frequency that we are putting out, which influences our life, is based on the thoughts and the feelings, the beliefs that we have, what we are determining our reality as being, based on our perceptions and our point of view. Each time your mind or your intuition or your inner child or your guidance system brings up an answer, keep asking, why is that? Why is that? And eventually, what you think is the problem will actually be behind other things. By this I mean there will be a root cause triggering all of those insecurities and fears that you have. It can only come from one place, but it'll be down to you to find out what your trigger is. What's made you so afraid that you need to have this or you need to have that? It could be a lack of money, lack of financial security, lack of job security, maybe not feeling good enough, not lovable. So if you are overly attached to something, start asking yourself, why is that? What is the reason behind the urge to achieve this goal or that goal? Are they really your goals, or are they actually influenced by other people around you? And you're thinking that you need to fulfill those goals because maybe your parents told you, the school that you went to has told you, the educational system or society around you. But let me know in the comments down below how you've been able to get over the feeling of detachment, or is it something that you're still struggling with? Are you still struggling to find ways to detach from things? Or if you've got some tips and ways that you have been able to detach, do share in the comments. You never know who it may help. But if you would like some guidance on other tools and techniques that can help you get into that place where you can start manifesting your goals much quicker, click this video up here and it will tell you everything that you need to know.